Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I'm making a cucumber salad, but this is how I'm making it, which is the way James Beard basically taught me many years ago. It was one of the first salads I did. You're going to have, he wanted them peeled, but I'm not going to listen. I'm going to do it my way, but you need them really thin. You need 2 cucumbers, or you can use one of these English cucumbers, which is really long, which will cover for the 2 cucumbers that I need. And we're going to do this one different compared to how you usually know it. A lot of people add sugar, a lot of water and vinegar and stuff to it, but we're going to do it a little different. You know, it would help if I get the olive oil out. And turn some more lights on. Let that sit while I'm slicing this cucumber. So make sure you slice it really thin. If you want to use a mandolin, make sure you put those gloves on and you're very careful to have special gloves for the mandolin. I'm not using the mandolin. I know I'm going to cut myself with that thing. I've already done it twice. The English cucumbers are drier than the American. The American are really loaded with water. Come on, Sandra, get it down, girl. No, instead of just a green salad this time, with greens and vegetables and fruits and nuts and everything I put in it, other than the kitchen sink, I figured I'll just make a cucumber salad. But I hadn't made this in many years because my cookbook was stolen, and now I have the recipe again. I finally found my James Beard cookbook, well, let's say another one, and I bought it. This one I made before. I'm sure my sons will remember because they were little, but they seem to remember just about everything I make. So this doesn't make a lot, but it makes enough, and we're going to add some seasonings to it to make it different. If you peel your cucumber and you collect your vegetable peelings, you can use the peelings into your vegetable stock. By the way, to the young person who gave me that recipe, I found it, I translated it from milligrams and liters and everything and transferred it into my measurements, and I hope to buy the stuff and try that, the lamb that's served over the eggplant, and see how it comes out. It looks very interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. I saw how it's put together. I actually went and asked you Google about it because it wasn't in any of my cookbooks. So I said, let me see if I could find it, and I did. So I'm going to hope that I can buy all the ingredients, whatever I'm missing. Not that I have any room in the house, but I want to see about making that dish next week and see how it comes out. because you say it's delicious. So from what I saw, it looks very good. Just make sure I have everything in the house to make it, that's all. I'm going to make it with the lamb. And if the lamb is too greasy, I'll use lecithin to eat up the fat, and then we'll be fine. I'm going to give you some history about this country. There was a time when the Republicans of today were the Democrats, and the Democrats of today were Republicans. And one side had lost. Well, they were called Republicans then. They lost the people, not caring about the people and all, and they were out of power for a long time. And when they came back, they claimed that they were the Democrats, what we know of as today, and they managed to get a powerhouse back and claim back, you know, a two-party system. For a while, the Americans didn't believe they're Democrats today, but at that time they said, we don't trust the Republicans. So they switched over to Democrats. Well, anyway, it was switched over the parties. And it happened once before, and it's happening again, except this time it's happening to the Democrats, and people are leaving the Democratic Party because they are so far out of touch with the American people. I don't know how long it'll be till they find their center of caring again, but other time, the who were known as Republicans at the time, didn't seem to care about the people, so the people voted them out, and that's what's happening today. So I see it happening, and I said, gee, I read about that in my history books. And I said, God, it's happening all over again. Sometimes when I look at it, I wonder if it's not the Civil War, the North and the South, except they say the Republicans and the Democrats, you know. But this has happened to my country once before. So if you're in America, don't panic out too bad. It happens. One party falls and everybody leaves and goes to the other party because they speak what you call common. It was called common sense then too. So it seems common sense will always overrule after we go so far left, we go so far right, and then we balance back out again. So from what I have read, because somebody asked me, he's very worried. He's a young man. So you shouldn't be. The only difference this time is that we have foreign professors and teachers, because the women left the school system, because only Americans can teach American values. And only Americans can teach the constitutional republic. We're not a democracy, we are a constitutional republic. And I'm talking about school. Now, I'm not being political here, I'm giving history. A lot of the history that I know and was taught, and we had to check it out and all, isn't in the school books anymore, or they're bypassing it. Say we're not going to teach it. I remember my husband going to school, and he had professors, they didn't speak English. I had to teach my husband when he came home. He said, I cannot understand this. But I understood, because math was never my husband's forte. Because we learned groups of 3, groups of 2, groups of 10, or whatever, and they changed it and used the word set. My husband couldn't figure out what in the hell, as he said, they were talking about. So what he did, he said, Sandy, would you help me? I said, sure, I'll help you. And he finally got it down. He says the same garbage I had in high school. I said, yeah, they just changed the word. So changing all these words around, which are giving everybody problems. This is because of the world market. Our math has changed, trying to make us think like the Asians. We don't think like that. I'm sorry. We're not that way. They can't think our way, and we can't think their way. See, I have so many recipes. I can't even possibly remember everything. Every last one of my cookbooks. I go crazy trying to remember. And I even have a book I'm putting together of recipes people have given me that are not in my cookbook. I'm already putting them in the computer room. I've got 4 cookbooks in there, or 5. I said, dang, Sandy, you're going to put yourself right out of the house with books. I've seen some people have more cookbooks than me, and they never went into them. They just bought them to look at the pictures. And I said, what? Now, do I want rings of onions or halves? I think I'm going to half it. It'll be easier for me. Thin slice an onion. I'm going to make half moons. It's just easier for me. Try to get about the size of what you have the cucumbers. If you can't, that's all right, but get them as close as you can. Sandy, why'd you throw that in there? Oh, I don't know. It just seemed to be the thing to do. Won't this be a refreshing one today? Okay. So we have the half moons and this together. Let me get the other stuff and I'll be right back. Okay, you're going to need a teaspoon of black peppercorns, or a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. I have the salt and pepper in here. I'm sort of just crushing it all up. was something missing from this recipe. When people gave it to me, I said, something's missing. I know something is missing. They say, no, put equal amounts of this, do this. I said, no, it doesn't sound right. Okay, so here's my teaspoon of black pepper and my teaspoon of salt. I think I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar too. Maybe 2 teaspoons of sugar to this. And you're saying that's it. No, that's not it. I'm going to add dill weed to it. Oh, I cut my nails. Now I am going to add a good teaspoon, maybe more. We'll just see how it is. Mix this up. I'll use Dudley's favorite little spoon. Now I know people tell me to put equal amounts of vinegar and oil on this, but I don't do that. That is just too much vinegar. It's too acid for me. Right now I'm just working the seasonings, let them sit a bit. Well, to get this going. I don't know if that's all I'm going to use or the sugar yet. A measuring cup. Some people say use vinegar and water. I didn't remember it ever being put like that. But it is vinegar and water. But let me see if I remember. I'm trying to remember how much vinegar and water. I think I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup of vinegar and 1/4 of a cup of water. But I've had them go really a lot of vinegar and very little water. But like I said, it's been a long time since I've made this. So I'm going to play 50-50 if I have to add more water to it to thin that vinegar down, because the vinegar can burn your throat if you have too much. Now this is going to be sitting until it's time for dinner. I'll cover it, and that's all I'm putting in there. But I like the color of the greens, so I don't care what anybody said. I don't like peeling my cucumbers. Some people like to just make streets where they peel it and you have the green, so you have the 2 color tone. But I like it this way. This is my way of doing it. I'll show you. I added 1/4 of a cup of water and 1/4 of a cup of vinegar. I'll let it sit. If it's too tart for you, you want to add more sugar, you can, or you can add more water to dilute it. This comes down to taste and how you prefer to have it. So I can't do any more than that, but I'm going to let this set, and this is my cucumber salad. Okay? Take care.